Hey everyone, welcome to my video. We're going to be taking care of this Talica16 Shimano reel. I want to show you my setup. I have all my tools handy, screwdrivers, everything else I'm going to need to take this reel apart. And I like to have a dust remover can handy. This gets a lot of that dirt and grime in places that you just can't get out. And I contacted Boca and they sent me this great chart that tells you the size of their bearings. I try to stick with the ABEX7 orange seal ceramics, and I bought a cheap set of calipers like $3 at Harbor Freight, and I have this old measuring ruler. I like to keep some gloves in case I want to keep the moisture out of my hands, out of the sensitive parts on the reel. I have a nice set of micro screwdrivers, and always I like to keep my schematic, and you can get this right off of Shimano's website. You can see in the red where I've had to take the bearings out and then measure them. Went ahead and wrote them on this sheet so I know what size they are. Now coming back over here to the Talica, this reel is not on Boca's reference chart, so basically I had to just take the reel apart and get the bearings out and size them up, and here's what I'm going to be replacing right here. Alright, so let's get back here to the Talica. I've had this one in service a couple of years now. Seen a lot of salt water. Just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm facing here. Quite a bit of grind in those bearings inside there on that spool. It's not so bad when you're just dropping straight down, but when you're casting at that cobia swimming alongside the boat, you really want to have that reel loose and where you can cast it out there. So let's get started. First off, we're going to go in here and we're going to remove the screws to get this housing off. Okay, so here's the inside of the reel, and back behind those gears is a bearing down inside there, and we'll take that apart here in just a moment. But first we're gonna change out the spool. You have to remove those screws on this outside as well as those right there. Then we can access the spool, and this spool is going to have 3 bearings on it. I have the spool assembly loose now, and as you can see, there's one bearing here. There's going to be one inside the housing there and one there. So let's take these bearings out, and then there's our spool assembly all back together, and it has that Boca Ceramic Bearing hum now. It's going to be like a new reel when I get done. Alright, now let's move on over here and we'll take this apart right here. What we're going to have to do here is remove these 2 screws, then that'll remove that assembly, then we'll remove that one, and we can get back behind here to that bearing. You can see it's hidden back there. Alright, there's your bearing, but I have to remove these big gears, brass gears, to get back to it. And I apologize, I don't have a tripod, or you guys could see all of this disassembly and reassembly. Okay, all this is back together now. I can already feel it's much smoother, but there's one more bearing in here that's hidden back behind all this. Got this spool all together. Now we just need to assemble these few parts, and we're going to test this reel out with the new Boca bearings, ABEX7 orange seal. Final assembly is done, and let's test out this spool. But take my word for it, change your bearings out to the Boca Ceramics. If you can get the orange seal, the ABEX7, great. If you can't, they have other options too. And I'm ready to put this thing in the salt water and see how she does. Welcome to bonus coverage. We're taking the Talica out on the Talica. It's time to try out the Talica with the new Boca bearings. Take this jig, we're going to drop it down to about 40 feet. We'll see what happens. It's a 1 ounce white jig. Trims with a little bit of... And that's about all it took.
I think we might have a redfish instead.
We had caught 30 bull red, so I really thought it was a red when it first hit.
Got a little drag screamer here.
Little did I know what was about to come up to the surface, and to say I got surprised and excited is an understatement.
On, baby. Oh, cobia! Cobia! Keeper! Sorry guys, I thought I was going to catch a red snapper, but we got a keeper cobia.
I'm back in love with my Talica with the new Boca Ceramic Bearings. It's so smooth now. It's better than it ever was. Thanks for joining me on this adventure, and look forward to making another one in the future. Have a good one, guys. Take a kid fishing.